Hi, it's Adele Michael back with another More Abundance Live with Adele. And today I want to talk to you about how to use this COVID-19 crisis to your own advantage. I know that might sound a little strange. You may be extremely worried about how you're going to pay your rent or mortgage, how you're going to put food on the table. Those are really valid concerns. You may be grieving with all the changes that are happening, or you may have already lost a loved one or have one that you think may be in danger of contracting COVID-19. Very valid. No matter where you are, this is a way to come at this situation that might serve you. So first I want to talk about the precedents to the situation that we're in around the globe right now. I've heard many people say this is unprecedented. Well, actually it's not. There are plenty of precedents for this epidemic that is around the globe. One was when the Spanish, the explorers, came to North America for the first time. They brought with them smallpox, which killed many, many Native Americans who did not have the antibodies for smallpox. Their bodies had never been exposed to it. So a lot of people died in that epidemic. The Spanish flu in 1918, 1919, after the First World War, soldiers were coming back to the United States from World War I. They brought with them the Spanish flu, and many people died around the world. It was quite the epidemic. I have pictures of my family members who were soldiers in the Civil War, and they're Southern, so they were on the losing side, and very tough times. My great-grandparents were teenagers during the Civil War up in Virginia, where the armies would go back and forth, and they went hungry for a long time. So this is precedented in human history. And what I know about humans is that we are extremely adaptable. We are adaptable. And we are actually made to adapt to changes. That's one of the brilliant things about being a human being. So whether you're in loss or fear, whether you're kind of curious about what all of this change is going to bring about. I mean, clearly life will never be the same as it was before the coronavirus started making its way around the world and affecting so many people and so many systems and so many lives. No matter where you are, this is a time to look for the pony. Now, what do I mean by that? There's a story that two little boys were presented with a room full of poop. And the pessimist sat down and started crying. And the optimist got in there with a shovel and started shoveling. And the researcher said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "There is so much poop in here. There's got to be a pony somewhere." So the question is, where's the pony? Where's the pony in this situation for you? I'll tell you a story, and actually that's supposed to be based on social psychology research. I have never found the study, but I believe it could be true. My story is back in 1996. I was living in Atlanta. I was a sports mental peak performance expert for athletes. I'd gone to Atlanta hoping that I could work with some Olympians. That didn't really work. I was riding down the highway in Atlanta, six lanes going each way. And out of the blue, I got hit by a drunk driver who had spun actually across 6 lanes, hit only me. He missed everybody else, hit me. I went into the retaining wall and hit twice more. And he was able to drive his car away, so he's hit and run. And I had a 3-point head injury, and if you know anything about head injuries, the brain really does not like getting knocked about. So I thought it was okay for a few days, and then it was really evident I was not okay. And I had a brain injury and wasn't able to work. Had a lot of mood swings, which happens with brain injuries. Would do silly things like, put paper towels in the freezer. Sometimes I wasn't sure if I'd remember to put on my underwear or brush my teeth. It was very, very difficult. And because I couldn't work, I couldn't pay my bills. And one day the phone got cut off, and it was very scary. And so what I had been doing was I knew the power of the subconscious mind. I'd been a hypnotherapist for a while then, and I knew that I could program my subconscious mind for what I wanted. So even though my brain was not working very well, I would keep programming it. And eventually it helped. And one day I realized I have got to find some way to have some money. I can't work. I wasn't on unemployment because I was self-employed. So I got the idea of, I know there's somebody who would like to help me. There's somebody who would like to help me. So I just kept thinking that thought. And then that person showed up. It was a family member who had just inherited some money, and she was very generous and wanted to lend me some. So she lent me some money, and that helped get me through. And I was able to pay her back once I was able to go back to work. And it served her, and it served me. And that would not have happened if I had not been desperate enough to look for the resources, and if I had not been willing to receive another person's contribution. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, that this is an opportune time to be self-interested, interested in taking care of yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, you can't help anybody else. That's very, very obvious. To work on your self-development. This is really an amazing time to ramp up your growth physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And if there's anything I would really like to say about this situation we're in, is don't let this opportunity blow by you. Take advantage of it. If there's something you've been wanting to develop within yourself, work on it. Develop more compassion for yourself and for others. I know that most of the people I talk to are very sensitive and caring people. They have open hearts and are likely becoming brokenhearted by what's happening to people. People losing jobs, people not able to feed themselves or their families, people getting sick, people dying. It's heartbreaking. And so having compassion for yourself and compassion for others and allowing your heart to be broken and to keep going is really important now. And offering it up to the divine. This is something that Tosha Silver teaches. You can find her on toshasilver.com. And it just so goes beyond the ego into the soul of acknowledging that we are part of something much greater than ourselves, and that as we give up our concerns, our worries, and our stress to the divine knows what to do with it. The divine put us here in this situation and can move us through this situation if we allow that to happen. And one more tool before we close. I have mentioned Jeanette Law before. She is a law of attraction coach, and she has a wonderful podcast this week about 3 money reminders. And it's really excellent. Here, I'll just put the link up here, and I'll put that in the comments too, so you can just click on it and go listen to it yourself. It's 11 minutes long. It's really excellent. And she asked 3 questions, and I'll give you 2 of them, or three statements. One is about money, about anything really, to say to yourself, there's plenty more where that came from. There's plenty more where that came from. So I was listening to a speaker today who was talking about the situation with toilet paper. She said, the toilet paper all still exists. All that toilet paper exists, except what people have used, but it's just in somebody's basement. It's not on the shelves at the grocery store. There will be more toilet paper. So there's plenty more where that came from. And then another thing that Jeanette talks about, which is really important, and I totally agree with, is feeling that you're already what you desire. So I am already rich, and really feeling that. I am already resourced. I have the money and the food that I need. I'm already healthy. So when you get into that vibration, that result has to come to you because you're a vibrational match. If you're in worry, doubt, or fear, which I totally get, been there myself, and I do a lot of work to stay out of that particular pit because I tend to go into that pit. But going there will not get me where I want to go, which is to be strong and steady and be helpful. So, feeling that you're already resourced, that you're already abundant, feeling that you're already healthy will actually draw to you the resources, the people, and the opportunities that will help you be that. So that's it for today. I would love to hear your comments about this and let me know how you're doing. And just want to remind you that there is invisible and visible help all around you. Look for it and find the pony. I'll talk to you next time.